Salam sejahtera, namo buddhaya, salam kebajikan. The Honorable.
No, cek gue nih. Cek.
Ya. Ya, Pak.
Pak Soeb, what can we do next? What should we do next? Hello, Pak Soeb.
Yes, Pak. Please go ahead, Pak.
Please mute yours. The voice is in. Bu Heni. Bu Heni.
Oke, baik. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Salam sejahtera, namo buddhaya, salam kebajikan. The Honorable, the Head of English Department UNESA, Ibu Pratiwi Retnaningdia, PhD, and all the participants of the webinar 7, brought to you by the English Department, Faculty of Language and Arts, UNESA. As the moderator, I am Heni. Should say that I'm very happy because the participants of this webinar come from many different professions: teachers, lecturers, graduate students, researchers, entrepreneurs, journalists, and many more. From a variety of professions and institutions, we have schools, universities, research centers, and from many regions throughout the country, even from other countries. So I would like to say hi to all of you in Indonesia, and also we have some participants from East London, High London, Tanzania, and also Sydney. Thanks so much for making time to join us this morning. Ladies and gentlemen, on this occasion, the webinar will present an interesting topic: CPD, Continuous Professional Development vs. Teachers Burnout. And yet, before beginning the webinar session, let us first listen to our national anthem, Indonesia Raya, and Mars UNESA.
Indonesia
Okay, ladies and gentlemen, we proceed to the opening speech, which will be delivered by the head of English Department, Ibu Pratiwi Retnaningdia, PhD. Bu Tiwi, time is yours.
Baik, the time. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Good morning, everyone. Welcome to our webinar series. This is the seventh of the nine that we have already planned. Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Praise to Allah Subhanahu wa Ta'ala for His blessings and protection, so that we are all in good health, safe, and sound. I'm so pleased to have you here in this forum. Thank you so much for staying tuned in our webinar series. And I really appreciate your great enthusiasm. Right now, we have more than 300 participants registered from all over Indonesia, and also one participant residing in Sydney, Australia, participant from Arusha, Tanzania, and also from East London, UK. Thank you so much for making the time for this. In Zoom, we are able to host as many as 300 participants, but we are also currently live on YouTube in our channel, English Department UNESA. So we hope to be able to reach out to those who cannot make it to Zoom. Everyone, as I said, today is the seventh of 9 sessions that we have already carried out on various and equally interesting topics. And this webinar series is part of our commitment to knowledge sharing and production, as well as community engagement. And for this, we gain full support from our academic forums, best practices run by the English Education Study Program, and also Polylux by English Literature Study Program. So for many of us who have been tuning in various webinars, including our webinars, the question now is, are we now professionally empowered? Or on the other hand, we are excessively burnt out? The topic that we're going to discuss today hopefully will help us make a better sense of our day-to-day work and family-related time management. It's a comparison or contrast between continuous professional development versus teacher burnout. So stay strong, stay productive, especially during this challenging time of the pandemic. I'd like to extend my deepest appreciation to the webinar team for making this series come in full shape. Everyone, my closing statement in this opening speech, please stay connected with us through our YouTube channel. Please like and subscribe. You could find the videos of the previous webinars on English Department UNESA on YouTube, and also our Instagram account at English UNESA. Have a productive session. Good luck with the webinar, with the talk. Pak Him and also Bu Wiwit, thank you very much. Wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Waalaikumsalam warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Thank you, Bu Tiwi. Now, ladies and gentlemen, before beginning our webinar today, let me read the technical info and rules as follows. The webinar technical rules. Number 1, please help us to make sure that your microphone is always mute, except when you are asked by the moderator to unmute it. Number 2, during the talks by the presenters, you are encouraged to write down your questions in the chat box using the following format: hashtag asked, participant name, affiliation, and then questions. And for your information, the exit ticket will serve as the attendance list as well, and only registered participants who are allowed to access the exit ticket link to get the e-certificate. Make sure to fill out the exit ticket and write correct names and email address. And then the link to the exit ticket will be shared near the end of the webinar today via Zoom chat room. The link for exit ticket is valid for 1 hour only. So it means until 1 p.m. And please check your email within 5 to 10 minutes after you submit the exit ticket, because the e-certificate will automatically generate it by system right after you fill out the exit ticket and be sent to your email by system as well. As soon as you find trouble with it, make your complaint right away. Complaint related to exit ticket and e-certificate is valid until 3 p.m. Jakarta time today only. Okay, well, ladies and gentlemen, shortly we will come to the main agenda, the webinar on CPDs vs teachers burnout. For that purpose, let me introduce our two outstanding speakers. They are Mr. Himawan Adinugroho, MPD. Good morning, Pak Him.
Morning,
How are you
morning all.
today?
I'm fine, great, thank you very much.
Okay, and also Bu Wiwit Eva Savitri, MPD. Good morning, Bu Wiwit.
Morning, Bu Ngani. Thank you.
Okay, how is life? Okay, so I guess that some of you may have known much of them, right? But here, let me show you their brief CVs. Okay, well, ladies and gentlemen, on this occasion, the talk will touch upon the challenges and opportunities of professional development program for teachers during pandemic. Are we professionally empowered or excessively burnout? So now let's us follow the presentations of the materials concerning the topic. The first session is for Pak Himawan and continued by Bu Wiwit. So Pak Him and Bu Wiwit, times are yours.
All right, thank you very much, Brandy, for the chance. And I would like to say Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Good morning, everybody. Good morning, all. Today we are going to have a webinar. So the title is very provocative, using the word versus. So I'm feeling like I'm watching a UFC championship. So it's like, yeah, let's take a look at how is the fight will go on. All right, so please allow me to share some things on the screen first. Let me see. Okay, can you see the screen, my presentation on your screens?
Yes. Yes, please go ahead, Baim.
All right, perfect. There you go. So that's our webinar today. So continuous professional development versus teachers burnout. So we're going to present this to all of you, both of us, me and Bu Vivit. So this is the parts. So I'm going to deal with the first part, CPD and its challenges, and then we will handle the second part, which is about teachers burnout. And this is my part. So I'm going to talk about it a bit on the introduction. So do we need CPD? And then too many CPD won't kill you. And then have you ever needed CPD so bad? So first thing first, like actually the ideas of continuous professional development is also something like answering or trying to take the challenge of the development of the 21st century. So with its vast areas of changes and innovations, including our areas in English language teaching. So we as EFL teachers are also asked to keep up with the dynamic of the changes. So, we need to continuously develop our professionalism to meet those demands. It sounds very demanding. So, but we need to be able to answer those challenges with the growing and the changing needs of the 21st century students, our students today, and also the challenges of the teaching and learning process in this era. Now, so that also bears the meaning that we need to, to keep up those with those changes. So we need to always improve, develop, and maintain our competencies and teaching skills, both pedagogical and professional areas. So the question is, do we need CPD? Well, if we take a look at in the Indonesian context, we have this Act, Teachers and Lecturers Act in number 14, 2005. So in that act, it is mentioned that teachers are professional educators. So it demands us to be both professional and empowered by trying to keep up with and update our knowledge on the latest issues, and also regarding our field of disciplines, which is English as foreign language, and also improving and developing our teaching skills. Now let's take a look at this one. So what is actually professional teachers? So this is what I can come up with professional teachers. There you go. So professional teacher is someone who can show improvement or development of his or related knowledge and how she or he can work or do his or her job perfectly well related to his or her specialty. So in the context of English teachers, we as English teachers, so we need to be able to show this ability that we are improving, we are developing our knowledge throughout our career. Now, what do we need then? So we need CPD. We need continuous professional development. It is an ongoing learning process that consists of activities that are done individually or collaboratively to increase and promote teachers' knowledge and performance. So there we can try to take a look at the ideas that the CPD can be done individually or collaboratively. So this is what we have in the CPD, and then based on according to some experts that the idea of teacher development is it serves the long drawn ideas or goals and growth of the teacher's understanding and mastery of the teaching and learning process themselves as teachers. That was from Richardson Farrell. And then Lee also stated that teacher professional development, together with the need for updating the professional skills and knowledge, plays an important role for teachers' professionalism and quality. So those are the ideal goals of the CPD itself. And then this is the focus of professional development. It prepares teachers to meet the demand of the current educational changes students' needs, and on the latest information and knowledge, and teachers' own mastery of their disciplines. So it also builds, improves, and at least maintains teachers' professionalism. So that is the focus of professional development. So have you done all of these things? Right. So for the next one here, so seriously, do we really need CPD? Okay, so I will let you all ask this question to yourself. So this is at least my answer to the question. So yes, we do. Teachers are, let's say, lifelong learners. If you don't want to be called as lifelong learners because it's too long, so let's say it's career-long learners. So whenever we have already stopped teaching or becoming teachers, we can stop learning of English and models of successful English learners. So as we like it or not, so we are the models for our students. That also bears another consequences of becoming models. So we need to be able to give the correct models, correct examples, and everything. So what kind of and what type of CPD? So like what I said earlier, it could be individual or collaborative types of CPD. So this is what I can come up with. So it can be institutional or individual or formal or informal types of CPD. So if you talk about institutional or formal CPD, so the nature, it's like it's going to be an obligatory nature. So you are obliged to do this. You have to follow this kinds of CPD. That also meaning that this is the top-down types of CPD. So it's a must. So we have some in the Indonesian context. We have some examples of the laws and acts, regulations, and everything. For those who are from Indonesia, I think you are already familiar with these rules and laws and everything. So these rules, how do you say that? Forced. If you do not like to say forced, you have to develop your professionalism based on these rules. So it's very clear that you have to be able to meet or develop, improve all four of your competencies, our competencies. So what are the four competencies? Professional competence, pedagogical competence, social competence, and personal competence. The two most talked about competencies are professional and pedagogical competencies. And then what we have here in Indonesia, so mostly held or offered kinds of CPD for teachers, as far as I know, to the best of my knowledge, is related with the pedagogical competence CPD, but not yet on professional competence CPD. On the other countries, so if I'm not mistaken, in Vietnam, they have a 2020 project. So it's teaching and learning foreign language in the public sector educational system for 2008 to 2020 period. So they have somehow adopted CAEFR to assess its English teachers language proficiency. Can you imagine that? Vietnam has already adopted CEFR for their English teachers language proficiency. I don't think that we have it here in Indonesia. And then there is also another example. It's Japan, if I'm not mistaken. Japan in 2013, if I'm not mistaken, the Japanese Ministry of Education, in 2013, stated that all the materials should be taught in English for the senior high school students. And when that policy came out, so it shocks the teachers because they were used to teaching by using grammar translation method, and the medium instructions are used Japanese instead of English, so they have to change that. But these are the things that we need to develop our professionalism. If it is if you take a look at the top-down nature, so we have to do this. Or we have the individual or informal CBD. So it comes from our own result of reflection. So teachers self-reflection. So that will result in the independent or self-initiated professional development. Self-initiated professional development would also be very real. What is it? It relies on our own decisions. So whether we are going to take a look at ourselves as a result of our reflection. All right, so that's it. I don't need to improve myself anymore. I'm good enough. All right then, so I don't need to do anything else. That's it. So we can we can stop, or we can just try to take a look at ourselves again and again, try to reflect on our teaching process and then learning the result of our students, and then try to do this kind of reflection, and then, oh my god, so I need to improve myself, so I need to keep up with the changes. My students are very good in using gadgets and everything. They are digital natives, and I do not somehow get the ideas on how to use gadgets. So what do I need to do about this? So that is some kind of very simple examples of self-reflection. So it results in the self-initiated professional development. You need to it is based on your need. Um, well, so will it be very harmful if we take too many CPDs or something? I'm afraid I have to say that it's not going to somehow kill you. So brain maze on the yeah, love will kill you if it is too much, but not CPD. CPD, too many CPD won't kill you. So there are all those also some other forms of CPD. It's like self-observation, observation of other teachers, and talking with other teachers. About say this, and then peer coaching and peer mentoring. These types of form CPDs are very rarely done by our teachers, by us, even me or us at the higher education level. We are somehow rarely do this. So we need to be able to see this as one of the ideas on how to improve ourselves. There are things that we need to pay attention on doing these kinds of forms of CPD. Right. So the ideas of those two forms of CPDs are encourage self-reflection and self-awareness. So increasing our awareness and reflection. So, oh, I need to improve. Oh, okay, my teaching is not very interesting between quotations. So it triggers collaboration. So it will it will what is it, make the bond between teachers tighter, and then shows some kind of a respect and honoring others' careers, and supporting others in doing their jobs. It builds our confidence, of course, when you know you can improve yourselves, and then you can try to be better. So I think we also can increase our confidence. We increase our efficacy as being EFL teachers. And then we can openly discuss our strengths and weaknesses of the teaching and learning process. So that's the idea. And then at the end, when we have all of those things improved, we will take a look at the result of the improvements of our students. And the approach that we need to pay attention here is collegial. So when it has meaning, it is collegial, so meaning that we need to show our respect to others. We need to avoid judging. So this is why, as Indonesians, we are not very familiar with this idea of self-observation, observed by other friends. In Japanese, I think they have this kind of activities called lesson study. So we might need to be able to do this. We might have to adapt this technique or approach in doing lesson study, but I think it's a good idea. We had some kind of talks among our colleagues back in our department, so of doing this lesson study, but we haven't been able to execute these ideas. So hopefully we will be able to do this with our groups of teachers teaching at the same subjects. Let's take a look at the other CPD that we can do as EFL teachers. I think this is more to the self-initiated CPD, so attending conferences and seminars, and then joining teacher association forums. So in Indonesia, we have subject teachers associations, or we can call it as MKMP, and then attending seminars and workshops, yeah, and then making use of the internet, having informal discussions with colleagues, and then at the same school, or it could be better if you can try to exchange ideas between schools and joining ELT courses, reading relevant sources, or doing research and making some kind of team teaching. So you can be more active. Let's say that you do not only attend the conferences or seminars. Try to be more active by becoming presenters. So since we are EFL teachers, the other things that we need to pay attention besides our teaching skills, our language, how we will be able to use our English in front of our students as the models for them to imitate, to take a look at how we are able to use the language for communications. So because we are their only source of what is it? Meeting the speakers of the English. Yes, if we can try to take a look at the fact today, so they will also be able to get the models from YouTube, from all of those, from the internet. So, but they still need us as teachers to confirm, to lead them on the right ways and paths on how to use the language correctly. Or we can try to do this. Very simple things that we can do is reading books, ELT journals, articles, subscribe newspapers, English printed newspapers, watching English speaking TV programs. I'm pretty sure that we are all very familiar with the cable TV, so we can try to tune in and then watch those English TV, speaking TV programs, or and then listen to Western songs or listen to radios, Western radio stations, BBC and everything, just to just to make us used to those expressions, words, sentences spoken by native speakers, or writing diary or teaching journals. I've talked to some teachers here in Surabaya who I interviewed them, and some of them wrote these activities. She wrote her teaching diary after she teaches at her classroom. She writes the activities that she has done with the students and everything. And then using English as a medium instruction. So if you are also familiar with the ideas of the classroom languages, so it could be part of these ideas of using English as a medium of instructions. As much as possible, use our English daily. So this is one of the ideas of having the self-initiated CPD. Or try to be more updated with this era. So making videos of the lessons that you are going to teach. For example, making a podcast, then record your voice and then share it with your students. Those kinds of things. Or you can try to, there are some teachers have their own YouTube channels and everything. So it takes a lot of confidence to do that. Why not? We can do the same thing, I think. In our department, we are planning to have our podcast related with this webinar series. So we still have so many questions, unanswered questions from the previous webinars. So we are planning to have our own podcast. So stay tuned. Hopefully we will be able to give you this ideas or make these ideas to realization. Or the other ideas is joining Twitter chats or Facebook. I joined the second Facebook group there, Teacher Voices. I get so many references, even books that I can download, and also tips and how to handle classes and how to maintain our language proficiency and everything. or you can also follow some or blog and everything. So those are the some of the ideas. So, have you ever needed CBD so bad? Reminded me of the title of a song too. I'm going to focus on the issues that somehow can try to what is it um, put us into difficult situations related to this continuous professional development. So I'm looking at the before pandemic, the issues that were there were some of these issues, the mismatch in the implementation of the policies in in the field. So in my previous research, so I wrote on the collision between the policy and practice, how government comes up with some ideas of the CPD, but actually teachers are not really still needs other kinds of CPDs that they would like to follow or to join. Or the second one, the unequal opportunities to have access to joining the activities. During the interviews in my research, I found out that some teachers stated that some other teachers do not have any access to those types of CPDs. We need to have these equal opportunities to all teachers to have this uh, chances to participate in professional development activities. And then the unavailability of the activities. So when I asked those teachers, how about your language proficiency, ma'am? Says, um, does it ever been, has it ever been, was it trained or regularly trained or regularly offered professional development for language proficiency? Nope, it's I've never heard of that program offered by the government or the ministry or something. But we usually follow this kind of programs offered by private institutions or organizations, something like IALF and then RELO and then English First, for example. They have this kind of program for English teachers, specifically for language proficiency. And then the absence of strict and clear rules of sanctions. So I'm not trying to, well, this is also a reminder for myself. So for those who have already got their uh, certification of professional teachers, including me. So if I'm not mistaken, there is no stated rules on how we have to be able to prove that uh, we are entitled as professional teachers. How will we be able to prove that after we get those certificates? So if we can say this, our certificates of professionalism is for once uh, for a lifetime. You do not need to do anything to show that, okay, after the certification, I have already done this, done that, I have improved myself, I've done so many things, and so on and so forth. There is no some kind of evaluation or something like that. There is also no, what is it, sanctions for our colleagues who do not join any CPD at all or something. No, it's not a big deal. So no problem. So you don't need to join a PD because the government will not see you that you are not doing anything with your professional development, even though in those laws and acts are stated that we need to follow those CPD. And then during pandemic, I think the issues are still the same thing, but I would like to add that with this, are we ready for the online learning? We here meaning the government and us as teachers. As we can all see now, our government is still struggling to prepare us, prepare teachers to be ready with the ideas of online learning. On the other side, the teachers are also fighting on how to have these ideas of what is it, teaching students with our online services. And then we also heard about the next ideas of having what you call that POP program from the ministry, so it also had still have to do so many things. They still have some a lot of works and everything. And then the next thing that I would like to focus is on the challenges as teachers. Before pandemic, we have these kinds of challenges, lack of resource and information. This might also due to our what is it um, lack of abilities in following the trends of using the information and technology, the ICT that and we know all the informations now are informed through the internet. Sometimes we ourselves are not very attentive to those information from the internet. A lack of institutional support, maybe this also related with our schools, institutions that somehow have problems with letting you go to follow the professional development activities during the weekdays, and then you can only go to through weekends, and then you have to think about your families because during the weekends I need to spend my time with families and everything. And then lack of awareness and motivations. That's what I said earlier. Even though those rules and acts are asked us to join those PDs, but since was it with those issues, and then it lowers our awareness and motivation. So I don't need to do the PD for activities. I don't need to take PD activities. It won't do any harm to my certification and everything. That's also lowered my motivation. And this is also another fact which happens to all of us: heavy teaching load and administrative work. So I have friends from Malang, they did the same thing. I cannot move anywhere. I'm stuck on my seat doing all these things, administrative works, and I have hours and hours of teaching in my classes. And then it affects our time management. So after all these things, so we do not have anything else left. So I think this is pretty. We will talk about this ideas, this the heavy teaching loads and then time management. And then it also related with the low effort during the pandemic. So greater demand for EFL teachers to be ICT or digital literate. Our students is digital native. We are digital migrants. They are very skillful in using their gadgets, finding information from the internet. We are still somehow facing difficulties with using this kinds of uh, informations using new technologies and everything. We are somehow some of us what might call us as an Pak Kumawang has a very interesting terms. He said that me, I belong to the generation of Majapahit generation and everything. So today generation is belongs to generation Z. So it's different. Need more motivation, creativity, and innovation, especially during the pandemic. So teachers are asked to be more creative. If teachers find their students do not have any gadgets at home, some days ago, I read the news from Java Post that teachers are using radio stations to teach their students. I think this is a good idea. And then some other teachers are having they have to go to those rural areas to meet their students and teach them. And then I never stop developing our professionalism, doing self-reflection, increase self-awareness, and be more self-initiated. That's the things that I need to be able to say to. So how many types, what types, and what form of CPD? As many as you can take. Join or participate or do as much as you can take. And then, the thing that you need to think about is consider your need. What do you need? What kind of PD that you need? What kind of skills that you need to improve or develop and everything. So create opportunities and ideas on the types of and form of CPD that you need through collaboration with Subject Teachers Association, MGMP, provincial MGMP, or local KMP in your areas, or you can try to also contact Board of Education Quality Assurance or BMP, or you can try to do this very challenging effort by reaching the Ministry of Education and Culture or the Ministry of Religious Affairs. Or you can try to contact the universities. Some of districts or regions in Indonesia have universities. If you see the chances of cooperating with them, why not try to contact them and then try to find out whether they can help you out with the CPD, or try to collaborate with institutions, organizations. And then this is going to be my few last screens here. So yes, we need CPD. That is definitely right. And it's obviously we need CPD. And then we have already participated and did or done CPD, institutional and independent or self-initiated CPD. So what's next then? Stop. It's enough already. Nope, I think we need to keep on trying to learn new things despite of all obstacles, challenges, hindrances we might encounter, and then make a change starting from ourselves. It might be not perfect, but it shows that we are improving. It shows our efforts improving ourselves throughout our careers. So we are not staying in our comfort zone and do nothing. We still show our ideas and efforts in improving, developing, at least maintaining our professionalism. That is one of our responsibility to be called as professional teachers. I think that's it. Thank you very much. So I will turn this next presentation to Puwiwit. Puwiwit, it's all yours.
Okay. Thank you very much, Fahim.
Thank
Yeah,
you.
okay. Let me now try to continue. Okay, good morning, everyone. Thank you very much for joining this webinar. Like what Pak Himawan has mentioned, joining webinar is one of the way for you to, to show, okay, or to make yourself develop CPD, continuous professional development. But joining webinar, although it is important, it is not something which is always easy to do. For your information, Pak Himawan, actually, I have made kind of mini research, like questionnaire, okay, before our session.
That's great.
And I questioned some teachers, okay, some teachers in by G form, by Google form, asking them whether they joined webinar or not during the pandemic. And yeah, the answer is almost 50-50. Okay,
Nice.
about 46% say that they joined, 42% that they what is it? Almost all actually. Sorry, almost all about joining the webinar. Almost 100%. Almost 100%. Yeah. The teachers I asked answer that they joined. Only 1% say that they never joined the webinar. The others say that they sometimes join. They at least they try to join webinar.
Right.
And you know there is an interesting answer related to the joining the webinar. They are self-motivated. So in the questionnaire, I asked them whether they are forced by their boss, okay, by the principals at their schools to join webinars, but they answer that no, they are not forced by their principals. They join webinar themselves. So you must be happy here related to CPD that our teachers, we are talking about our Indonesian teachers here because the teachers who answer my questions are Indonesian. So they are self-motivated in joining webinars.
Nice.
And when I asked them whether they are happy or not, after they join the webinar, most of them say that they're happy because they get updated, they meet old friends, because by joining webinars, they can also see their old friends. They can see their old teachers, old lecturers. They have kind of like a nostalgic experience, like when they were at campus. So they can see the teachers again. They can ask questions to the teachers, just like well, the year back. Okay, like the year
Mhm.
back. So they're happy. Yet not all of them are happy and excited. There are also some of them, well, not some, actually quite many, who say that they are happy after joining webinar, but they are tired. So it is a fact that joining webinar is sometimes make our teachers tired. And my session this morning is about extreme feeling of tired, burnout. Okay, so I'm going to
So true.
try to, yeah, to talk about burnout this morning, especially related to teacher burnout. And this is going to be in Indonesian context because I have read some articles about burnout, especially for English teacher. But most of them, of course, published before the pandemic. Before the pandemic. So actually, you teachers or you lecturers who are now joining this webinar, this could be one of your research area next about teachers burnout during pandemic. Now, please allow me to share my screen. Can you see my screen?
Yep. Yes.
Yeah, teacher burnout. So, what is teacher burnout? Well, this is something which is quite psychological. I'm not a psychologist, so please forgive me if there is something wrong later on in my explanation. But here I get, what is it? I get a kind of impression that almost everyone nowadays suffering from burnout related to education. Okay, now let's start from this one who suffers from burnout, especially during this pandemic, like what Pak Himawan mentioned. Nowadays, teachers must do differently, must do their work differently, not like in the past. So their challenge will be, not will be, it's already done. It's already on the way now. The challenge is greater than in the past before the pandemic. So teachers, let's take a look at this. Who suffers from burnout? Well, so this one, teachers are not the only one who suffers from burnout. So there are also students and parents. Why I take this one, why I show this one to you all participants, yeah, to remind us that although we are teachers, although we ask our students to be able to follow our lesson, to join our lesson well, we must remember that students' challenge nowadays are also greater. They usually can play with their friends during the break time. Now, just like what Pak Himawan mentioned about their Pak Himawan's friends, must the person or the students here must sit in front of monitor, joining Zoom or Google Meet uh, meeting, presenting by monitor, using their laptop, their computer, and it's something very tiring because they have to sit all the time, almost about more than 5 hours, I think, more than 5 hours, starting from 8 o'clock or 7 o'clock in the morning until 1 or 2 o'clock. So it will be tiring and it will make them stressed. So I show you this to make us, including me, remember that we are not the only one who are suffering from this pandemic. Students also suffer from this. Okay, so we need to appreciate our students too. And then the other one who suffer from burnout, of course, parents. Parents suffer from burnout. I believe that many of us here in this meeting rooms are parents as well. So you have to accompany your kids in the morning, preparing them to study from home. In the past, perhaps you drop them at schools and then you leave them with their teachers until they get back from schools. And at night, you can accompany them doing their homework. Now, everything is on your hand. You have to accompany them. How about parents who cannot speak English when their students have to do English lessons? Perhaps they will get stressed out and parents will have more burnout than teachers. Perhaps you need to make uh, a research for them. And now this is the one related to our topic today, teachers. I'm writing here conflicting roles. Why teachers have conflicting roles? Yeah, because teachers here are not their roles is not only as teachers. Teachers, as I mentioned previously, can have role as parents. You can imagine if in the morning you have to prepare your kids, and in the same time you have to prepare your own lesson to teach. It is a conflicting one. It is demanding a great energy of yours. And it will be more challenging if you, teachers, in the same times, also a student, Pak Himawan. So in CPD, one of the CPD is to continue study, right? To update the
Yeah,
knowledge so that the
right.
teachers will be able to have more knowledge, to have updated information, updated techniques, method for their teaching and learning process. However, during this pandemic, it could be very challenging to be teachers, students, and parents in the same time. So this is something which is what is it? Which is sometimes unavoidable during this pandemic, and could lead to burnout. Okay, now let's continue. Well, teacher burnout can be described as a state of emotional, mental, and physical exhaustion caused by excessive and prolonged stress. So we remember that we have started to have this pandemic teaching and learning process starting from March, and in the middle of March until now it's about how many months? About more than 4 months. Yeah, about more than 4 months. And yeah, it could be mentally what is it? Stress. It could lead to mental depression. Okay, you can be so exhausted teaching, preparing, and do things related to your teaching, not like in the past, because everything should be done at home. Although some teachers, I see that there are many schools who give opportunity, okay, for teachers to teach from schools with health protocol, okay. Yet, because still they have to do the teaching and learning process uh, using digital platform. They don't meet the students offline. So teachers here could be very tired because it is not easy. I experienced myself that it is not easy to teach um, through Zoom or to Google Meet or any digital platform, especially if your subjects is not an easy subject to be taught by digital platform. Like me, for example, my subject is listening. It's a bit difficult for me to have listening. What is it? The teaching of listening online here. Later, we will discuss that how I handle that, and about the assessment also. The assessment can also give you mental breakdown sometimes because we have tried to set a what is it, a nice test, but on the due day of the test, your students uh, cannot join it well because they don't have a good internet connection, and you don't know how to see whether they really do it themselves or there are someone else helping them doing the test. So, well, if you think about it over and over again and still like not, you have to do it, it could make you have emotional, mental, and physical exhaustion. There are some research about burnout, and here teachers are required to cope with a wide diversity of stressors, including workload, role ambiguity, and lack of workplace social support or classroom management difficulties. So here, the result of research by three uh, people, and Lacon and Montgomery and Rock. So they have this similar result about what cause burnout. We will talk about it later in our Indonesian content. Here, symptoms of burnout. Here, emotional exhaustion, depersonalization, loss of self-confidence, and lack of personal accomplishment. So I'm interested in the second one here, depersonalization. So if you feel that you are someone else, if you are not you, if you usually a very patient person, a nice person, a nice teacher, but suddenly you become bad-tempered and easily get irritated when your students do something unexpected, so you suffer from the second one here, the personalization. Emotional exhaustion and loss of self-confidence, I think you know it well. And burnout here could be very dangerous because it could have impact on our health. Now, I'm going to try to I'm going to invite you to think about ourselves, about burnout. Let's see whether now we are suffering from burnout or not. I believe that you are familiar with the emoticon. This emoticon so confusion. So uh, let me use this emoticon to represent this sign of burnout, forgetfulness and trouble concentrating. So this is one a sign of burnout. Then if now you get difficult to concentrate, you are trying to do your work as it is, as usual, but it's very hard for you to do it. It's very hard for you to concentrate. You might suffer from burnout. Okay? And also forgetfulness. If you easily forget, although you actually have good memory, well, you might suffer from burnout. The second one, if you see these emoticons, it's very easy to guess that it is related to depression and anxiety. Let me use it. Depression and anxiety. So burnout here cause us to have depression, anxiety, and anger. And this could be reflected in our daily life in the form of easily get mad, temper, also easily cry. Okay, we feel that we are suffering from everything in the world, and yeah, we feel so exhausted. So actually, this one exhausted here related to the other one later on. Let me continue. Then the next one, I don't know whether you have this problem. So there are two sides of this problem: appetite and weight issues. So there is possibility that you eat more than you usually eat, or you even lost. On the contrary, you can lose your appetite. So both of them could be the indicator or the signs of burnout. So if you eat normally, you eat happily, means that you are normal. But if you eat more than you usually eat, simply to compensate your stress feeling, well, it is an indicator that you have burnout. Okay. And then the next one here is fatigue and sleep issues. So when people have burnout, okay, they get difficulty to sleep. So at night they are already on the bed, but their mind is everywhere. If you feel that, if you feel so tired, but you get difficulty to sleep at night because or anytime, although usually it's easy for you to sleep, so you might suffer from burnout. If you still sleep but you feel that you don't sleep because your mind is everywhere, you think of your work, you think of your how to prepare your kids in the morning, how to prepare the meals, how to do your laundry and other things, so you could have fatigue and sleep issues. And then this one, the last one, the one sign of teacher burnout is to have health issues. Well, if you feel that you easily get uh, cold, cough, headache most of the time, okay, you suddenly feel so weak, you have no energy, yeah, there is possibility that uh, you have suffered from burnout. Now, based on like I told you previous, like I have interviewed um, some not interview actually. I have shared questionnaires. Sorry, I've shared questionnaires, and the teachers have already filled up the questionnaires. And one question in the questionnaires is about the factors that cause burnout. So this one, work overload. So this is not only about the teaching themselves and teaching preparation, but it's also about the administrative work. Administrative work is the one which absorb teachers' energy a lot. And the second one, facilities unavailability. So if many complain that they don't really have enough or adequate facilities to perform their teaching during this pandemic, and they don't really have enough what is it, money perhaps to prepare or to provide themselves with facilities like internet or proper gadget, or even perhaps if they have the internet connection and the gadget, sometimes they do not have rooms for that. They don't have what is it, proper place for themselves to perform that teaching, to perform the teaching. Yeah. And then the next one, confusing in selecting and using platform, digital platform here. Well, this confusion could be caused by joining a lot of webinars. Joining a lot of webinars. Why I said that? Webinars could offer you and could show you many kinds of platform that could be used for teaching. Anyhow, sometimes after joining the all webinars, you then become so confused and we, including me, become so confused and uh, do not know which one is appropriate one. Okay, so this one could be the cause of burnout. And the other one, the other cause of burnout, this is an important one, no adequate appreciation or support. So during this pandemic, teachers are challenged to work differently, okay, to perform differently. But if there is no appreciation or support from government, from family, from their school management, it will be very difficult for them to what is it, to manage and to feel happy. Okay, so that can cause burnout. Yeah. Well, those are the causes, the factors. Now, let's try to tackle burnout. Well, this burnout, what is it? This effort, the effort to tackle burnout I mentioned next here will be suitable perhaps in Indonesian context. In other contexts, I don't know whether it will be the same or not, but I hope that could be one of the consideration that we could make. Okay, because many experts have talked about burnout and they offer different ways of tackling burnout. Now, let me talk about the government here. So, related to the government here, of course, government's task is to make policies. So, I simply say to make policies would help teachers to be able to perform well without experiencing burnout. For example, to simplify the curriculum, because normal curriculum is difficult to be performed in pandemic situations. So government may need to to adjust the curriculum, and I think that is already uh, what is it? Sometimes okay, some days ago, if I'm not mistaken, I have got some information about this curriculum simplification. Yet I don't know the detail yet, so I'm sorry I cannot show you that. Okay, and perhaps government needs to prepare or to provide more facilities for uh, what is it for teachers and students. So both of them, teachers, students. Oh yeah, not both. All of them. Also parents will not suffer from burnout. So it's all about the policies. So if government have nice policies, good policies about uh, the school system during the pandemic, uh, hopefully our teacher will not suffer from burnout. Okay, so these are the examples. Curriculum adjustment, facilities, then appreciation. Appreciation here can be in the form of incentive. This one is also mentioned in the questionnaire I provide, I shared to the teachers. Promotion and award. Now let's continue to the next one. School administrator. For school administrator, distributing equal task load to all teachers. Yeah, so it could help teachers to reduce their burnout. Second one, school administrator need to be willing to listen and to discuss with their teachers. Don't just order teachers to do this, and this without being able or without willingness to listen to what happened or what their problems are. Okay, and then the next one, creating less stressful atmosphere. Yeah, I got information from the teachers. I give questionnaires that they have kind of um, relaxing program like um, having sport together. Of course, during this pandemic, the sport also it is done at schools. They have certain protocols to do it, and they feel that it helped them to reduce their stress. So that could be one example for getting less stressful atmosphere to make them more relaxed. Okay, and this one, I don't know whether it is impossible or possible to be done, giving less administrative work, because this is the expectation of our teachers, especially during this pandemic. So they said that why not the only important administrative work? Why there are still many administrative work? We're already busy with the teaching and the preparation, which is different from before pandemic. So they hope that they have less administrative work. And the last one here from school administration, school administrator can form a support group. Himawan has mentioned about CPD that they can use teachers forum like MDMP. So MDMP could be a support group for teachers to share and to get solution from their problem so they won't get burnt out. Or if they all burn out, they could at least have someone to listen to so they will not get depressed, because if they have to keep it themselves, they might get depression. Okay, now from the teacher's side themselves, well, it could help you if you have a what to do list. Okay, so you can set the priority, which one is the first, which one is the second, which one is the third. Although perhaps your what to do list here difficult to do, because like I mentioned previously, as teachers who have more than one role, who have conflicting roles, you might also have a list for your family. And if you also student in the same time as a teacher, okay, because you are now getting your master or doctoral degree, you also have another list of what to do as a student, because if not, you will not be able to manage your time. So it is important. Perhaps it is hard, but it is important. At least it could help you to see which one is the priority and which one is the next. Okay, and then the next one, okay, related to the digital platform for the teaching, I suggest you to choose a right digital platform. What is right digital platform? Well, a right digital platform in my statement here is that the digital platform, a teaching platform that you are familiar with. Don't force yourself to use something which is not familiar to you, but it doesn't mean that I forbid you to try. No, you can try as many platforms as you want. You can learn to use, okay, and to create your teaching and learning in any platform that you like. But please don't be too ambitious just to be seen or to be called that you are uh, techno savvy, but you make yourself stressful. No, just use the digital platform that you know very well for the first time. Later on, okay, later on, you can process yourself to make yourself more familiar with other digital platform, and yeah, to get to have your teaching and learning process using the other, okay, the other platform. This one about encourage yourself to share with colleagues, team teaching. Interestingly, I'm happy because in my questionnaire here, many teachers mentioned that they do this. Team teaching helped them to find solution for their problem during the teaching in the pandemic situation. Team teaching helped them a lot, okay, because they can share the preparation with their friends, so it helps. So if until now you still do it yourself, you think of your teaching yourself, you might consider this one about encouraging yourself to share with colleagues in team teaching. Well, it is not easy. It's easier to say than to do, because not everyone can work with us. We cannot work with everyone because we need to click. Okay? If I have to quote Pak Munir's word, we have to be click with the person to able to work together well in a team. But why not? Why not try it? Just try it. Um, there are two possibilities. You can get upset, but there is also possibility that you can be happy. But we have to open our heart and mind to work with others so that we can help each other. Sometimes we feel that or we think that it's impossible for a friend perhaps to help us, but when we try to work together with a person, it turns out that the person can help us more than we expect. So just make a try in sharing with colleagues in teaching. Now, the next one here related to Pak Muhid. Yes, thank you, Bu Henry. Related to Himawans about webinars, being selective in joining webinars. There are so many webinars nowadays offered to us. So be selective. Okay, try to join the webinars which you need, which is in your area. Okay, and you are interested a lot. And please consider your energy. If you feel so tired, don't force yourself to join the webinar. Don't force yourself to join the webinar. If you can join the webinar by YouTube, for example, and you can access that anytime, it will be a lot easier for you. But please be selective and don't make yourself overwhelmed with the webinar. Just be happy with the webinar, not get stressed with the webinar. Don't make it as a stressful factor for you. Okay, I still have four more. Next, building positive thought. Stop overthinking. Don't make yourself, what is it? Don't make yourself suffer from the word what if, what if, what if, what if. Just do it. Don't keep thinking too much. Okay, don't keep making the what if question. What if, what if, what if. You can have that what if questions, but the most important thing is that you have to have positive what if, okay? Not negative what. This one is important. Find support from your family. So you need to talk with your family. If you feel that it is burdening for you, tell them that I need your support. I need your support. When I teach, well, there is one example, silly example perhaps. You are teaching and in your home there is someone else. But when the rain comes and you haven't taken care of your laundry, and when you are teaching, then you think of your laundry, whether your laundry will be wet or not. It's very simple one. And if the other person in your family doesn't help you, you will get stressed with that simple thing. And if it is continuously happen, you will be burned out. Okay, so please find support from your family. Next, this one important, trying to make time for reflection and self-reset. You can do your hobby. You can listen to music. You can play game online if you like game online. You can do gardening. You can cook. You can make podcasts if you like podcasting. Just make yourself reflect, self-reset, and by doing your hobby could be one of them. Okay. And then the last one here, this is I think the most important one. Be grateful to your being, be passionate to your job. Oh well, not everyone nowadays can enjoy their job because they don't have job anymore. We still have job. Our job is as teachers, and teachers is now a challenging job. Okay, I know that we need appreciations. One person in the questionnaire say that we need appreciation because there are people out there say that we don't do our job during this pandemic. The parents do the job well. It is your time to prove that teachers do their job because support from teachers, and if you are able to to share good values to your students, they will get good values during this pandemic, and they will also learn the lesson that you teach them. Okay. Last but not least, there is a saying from the factory: "Do what you love and love what you do." I hope if you love what you do, you will not suffer from burnout because we are happy to do what we do. Thank you, Bu Heni. It's back to you. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Waalaikumsalam warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Thank you very much, bro, both for Pak Him and Bu Wiwit for the presentations. Yeah. Okay, well, before we go further to the question and answer sessions, I'd like to remind you to all the participants again that the exit ticket will serve as the attendance list as well, yeah? And only registered participants who are allowed to access the exit ticket link to get the e-certificate. And make sure that you fill out the exit tickets and write correct names and email address. The link for the exit ticket will be shared near the end of the webinar today via Zoom chat room. And the link for the exit ticket is valid for 1 hour only. And then next, you can check your email within 5 to 10 minutes after you submit the exit ticket. And the e-certificates will be automatically generated by system right after you fill out the exit ticket and be sent to your email by system as well. When you have found a trouble, make your complaint right away. And the complaint related to the exit ticket and e-certificate is valid until 3 p.m. Jakarta time today only. Okay, well, ladies and gentlemen, now we come to the Q&A sessions. There are already some questions in my hand. I would like to read for the first questions. It can be answered by both of you, whether Pak Him or Bu Wiwit, yeah?
Okay.
Okay.
Okay. The first question is from Pak Bambang Yulianto.
Okay.
He's from SMA N1 Kediri. Yeah. Teachers have attended so many webinars. Unfortunately, when time to teach came, many students could not access their teachers' platforms and tools because of bad quality of their internet access or gadget. So, is CPD still necessary? If yes, what should teachers do? Okay, maybe Pak Him or Bu Wiwit can
Fahim first, please.
Pak Him first.
It is
That's
interesting
Yeah,
one. It happens to
yeah,
us too.
yes, right. The keyword is
Uh,
CPD, right? Okay,
CPD.
yeah, well, thank you, Pak Bambang from SMA and Satu Ketiri. Um, well, I have to say, yes, I think CPD is still needed. So we still need CPD. It is a fact that the internet connection is still becomes a very big concern here in Indonesia. So we have so many news covering this problems or this what is it difficulties in reaching students without who doesn't have any gadgets or who cannot be connected with the internet. That's what I said earlier on the ideas of using radio stations on how teachers are turning themselves to become radio announcers. My colleague here is a very expert in becoming radio announcers. So if it happens you have ever heard one of the radio stations in Surabaya, so you will be very familiar with his voice becoming a radio announcer on English corners. I forgot the program. So you can ask her a lot on how to make use of these ideas of radio, becoming radio announcer for delivering your materials, our lessons to our students, reaching those students without gadgets. Hopefully, they still have radio back at their homes. Uh, learning on how to do that is also a professional development. How we can learn on how to prepare materials which can be shared through radio waves is also an example of professional development. Or you can try to also collaborate with the society, with the neighborhoods, how they will be able to provide those students with Wi-Fi, as also written at the newspapers, how the mayor, Surabaya mayor, tried to reach out the neighborhoods to provide a public place where they can provide Wi-Fi, free Wi-Fi for those students with difficulties of getting the internet connection to spend some amounts of money to buy those uh, credits for joining the internet. So I think those are also some of the professional development that we can try to show that teachers are agents of change. So it's one of the ideas of agents of change is that how we will be able to move society to help us out and help the students out to continue studying. You might also have other ideas as well.
Okay. So this is for Pak Bambang Yulianto.
Yes.
Pak Him. Yeah, Pak Bambang, as you have joined many webinars, we have joined our many webinars, but when time to come, when we want to apply what you've got from the webinars, there are problems because students cannot access the teacher's platform and tools because of the bad quality of their internet. Well, I think they are two different things, right? Whether you join CP when you do CPD, okay, when you do CPD and the teachers, the students' problem joining you, there I think there are two uh, uh, different things. So related to you yourself, CPD is about you, okay, as teachers, because you teach not only today, you teach not only during the pandemic, you also teach uh, after the pandemic later on. Keep you need to keep updating yourself. So I think uh, although now this time your students get difficulty to access you during the platform you use now, later on, hopefully that there will be a solution you get from another webinar you join, or a solution from the government that that provides facilities for the students, and the students can access the platform you use better in the future, so that you will be able to what is it to show what you have, or to apply what you have got from the webinar, or from any uh, any updates you get from any sources, not only webinar, but perhaps from the reading, or from internet, or from the workshop or training. So I think CPD is still important, whether or not your students can access your platform or not, because CPD is about you, and about how you can serve them better in the future, and how you can be more what is it more content to yourself, more happy about your being, because you are already teacher wherever you are, whatever the situation is. I think that's my answer for you. I hope it, it is a good answer. Okay, Bu Heni, Pak Heni,
Yeah. Is that enough?
I think that's from me.
Hopefully,
Okay. So now
hopefully it
we
will never be enough.
can we move to the next question then?
Of course.
Yeah. Okay. The next question is from Triana Dewi. She's from
Yeah.
SMPN 1 Kembang Galuh Lamongan.
Mm-hmm.
Oh
So
yeah.
I have a dream to continue my study to take S3 degree as one of my CPD, but some people say it will be useless because I'm only a SMP teacher. So if I'm a lecturer, maybe I need that degree to support my job. Well, so what do you think?
Okay.
Him, the first CPD.
Right. Putriana Dewi from Lamongan.
From Lamongan, yeah. It's
Mistaken. This
interesting
is a,
question.
I know it is. It is. It is very interesting question from a very interesting senior
I think
of
she is our
English
senior,
department.
right?
Yep,
Yeah.
it is.
Uh-huh.
So
Mbak
yeah,
Triana. Okay.
it is Mas Haryanto and Mas
Mas
Darto
Haryanto.
and Mbak
Yeah.
Dina and everything. So uh, it's very happy to have them here. It's like a reunion or something. Right.
Yeah.
How do I address her? I usually address her as Mbak Triana. So yeah,
Okay.
continuing study. Yes, Mbak Triana, it's one of the CBD activities. So personally, if I may say this, if you have this opportunity to join or to continue your study, and all the situations and conditions are in your side, so supporting you to do this, do that, take the advantage, take the opportunity. So do not what is it hesitate. So well, yes, you are junior high school teachers, but your knowledge might be very useful for not only for your students, knowing that you have more knowledge that they can get, but it also can be very useful for others. You will be somehow get connected with a wider scope of society. If you take S3 programs, you will know other people, and then they will know your specialty. They will know your field of expertise and everything. Even though you are assembly teachers, you have all of this expertise and knowledges that people can use. So just take the chance. Don't let them stop what you need to do. So I think it's a great idea to continue study. Yeah, it's a brilliant idea. Yeah, I think that's a pretty.
Yeah, I agree with Pak Himawan. Uh, although you are an SNP teacher, junior high school teachers, I think it's just okay for you to take um, doctoral degree as long as you are able to manage the time and the energy, because
Exactly.
taking doctoral degree require a lot of time and energy because you have to read a lot. You have to read a lot. To me, to me, if you are an English teacher in any levels and you can take as high a degree as possible, that would be okay because you are like what Himawan has mentioned is an expert in your area. You are in junior high school, so you are an expert in junior high school. Okay, so you know well about teaching in high school. Later on, uh, in your doctoral degree, you can explore more about the teaching of English in junior high school. Okay, in junior high school, you can write about it. You can do research and publish articles related to it. You can create books related to that. You can be an influencer, because now it's a time for people to be to be influencers, Pak Himawan. So you can be influencers because you know well about the teaching of English in junior high schools. Why not? At least if you don't want to do them all, you feel you can do what is it? The updates of yourself. You can do the updates of yourself because I understand what you feel. After finishing studying for quite long time, we usually miss to be at schools again. We miss to be, what is it, the position of being a student, to get knowledge from our lecturer, to get updates from our lecturers, to read new things, okay, to know more friends. So uh, it is okay for you if you want to take a doctoral degree. To me, it's just okay, as long as back to my previous statement, as long as you can manage your time and your energy. Because if not, you will be burnout. It will be back to my topic. Will be burnout. So, Matriana, I hope that it would be good consideration for you. Uh, yeah, and you can try to, what is it, to see which one, whether you will go on or you will stay there and uh, do something else, or perhaps create more forums for teachers. I think that's fine.
Okay,
Okay.
thank you for the answers. Now we move to the next question,
Next
which is
question.
from Cece Unesa.
Who is this? Do I
there are
know
so
her?
there are so many webinars related to ELT available during the pandemic.
Select the
How
most.
to select the most worth it
Okay, that's
webinar?
interesting. How to select the most. Okay, yes, Fahim, you first. Not
It's
ladies first.
a
CPD
trivia,
first.
yeah,
Uh-huh.
trivia question. I think. I think yeah. But Cheche was right. Is right. So how do we choose the most needed webinars? So well, the easiest thing that we can do is try to take a look at the if it is a very good. I mean, if the committee tries to also hold a very useful webinars, they will provide uh, enough information on what the webinar is all about and what the participants will get and everything. So we can try to select them. We can try to find it out whether this webinar will be very useful for us, and then uh, will it be applicable for us in our condition like this one. So we can try to read more and find it more about these webinars, and then try to match with our needs and everything. If we think that this webinar is not very it's not related to what we need, so we can try to skip it and then try to find it out more information on the more useful and effective webinars. So I think that's the easiest way. Try to read the information on the flyers or the information from the webinar. Yeah, that's from me.
Yeah,
Okay.
I just add one short statement, perhaps, Mbak Dede. To select the most worth it webinar. To me, the webinar which suits your interests and needs. So no one has mentioned about that too. So I agree with that. So if it should be the webinar which suits your interests and needs, because if it is about your interest, well, interest related to our passion. If we are passionate about it, it will be valuable for us. Later on, although we don't use it for our teaching, for example, we can use it for our research. We can use it for our research. We can make research related to that with our students. Okay, about our students. So I think interest and needs is what is it? Are the keys. Are the keys. And one more thing, if I may say it, you need to see who conduct the webinar. Uh, During this pandemic, I have joined many webinars, and sometimes I'm disappointed because it's not just like what we expect. You know, the title is different from what the presentation. What is it? The title and the presentation is not really match. It's not really match. So it's a bit disappointing. Or sometimes we we feel that, oh, okay, it's something which is very interesting, because I said that it should have our interest. It will be something interesting, but it turns out that um, it is not seriously managed. The webinar is not seriously managed. So you can, for first time, you can try to see whether you can, as long as it meets your interest and your needs, you can join it, and you see who what's it, conduct the webinars. If you feel satisfied later on, you can join their webinar again. If you don't feel satisfied, you can stop. You can stop registering yourself for joining the webinars, because I believe you don't want to be broken hearted. I think that's what it. Thank you.
Okay. Thank you very much for the answers. Now we move to the next questions, and I have to say so sorry. So since it will be become
The
the
last
last
question.
questions, yeah.
Oh, see.
The question is from Rani Megasari. She's from
Mm-hmm.
SMPN 2 Bangkalan.
All
What
right.
should we do? What should we do to always refresh the student spirit and motivation during the online learning?
All
Thank
right.
you.
Okay. Yeah.
Nice.
It's actually different from our topic today, but it's okay.
Yeah. Yeah, but yeah, I think it's a bit different, but it is if you try to see the connection. So we
Uh-huh.
can still connect it. So can CPD help teachers
To do that.
to teachers to make our students more interested in our lesson during this pandemic? Okay. Why? Okay. All right. So Purani Megasari from SMPN to Pangkalan. Hmm. Well, I think this is also part of my experience, my personal experience of what is it? Seeing my two daughters learning from home online, getting assignments and also materials from their teachers, especially from their English teachers. So my older daughter is now in high school, so I asked her about how about the English lessons? How do you get this lessons from your teacher? So yeah, my teacher is using Zoom. She's very nice, so she's very attractive. She gives assignments and everything. I haven't been able to see the activities during the Zoom teaching, but I might going to see it maybe some other time to see how the teachers are able to make the students engaged in their learning. Um, and then my other daughter is now on her third grade of elementary school, and her English teachers is quite very interesting. She sent videos on what is the assignments that the students needs to do. So she explains a little bit on the assignments on the students' next assignment. So she gives examples of the last week was about singing a song. So she sent videos to the students, and then we opened videos, and then she gives an example of the song that students needs to sing, and so it was quite interesting. So I think this is what you need to do, Purani. I think we can try to be as lively as we can, as we can do as if we are teaching them in person and teaching them in classroom. So we can try to make videos, like I said, the examples from my daughter's teacher. So we make a video, we record our videos, and then we try to send the videos to our students. So we show our students that we are still there for them. So we do not need, we will not allow them to think that this difficult times makes them more difficult to get anything, even though from the and also from their teachers' attention. So we still need to pay attention to the students. So if you can try to do the synchronous teaching, so you still you can still what is it, appreciate their presence, their activities, if you can do a synchronous teaching. So if you can, you cannot do the synchronous teaching, or you can only do the synchronous teaching. So you can still also show your rewards to their students' assignments and everything. So that's how you do that. And then get more materials, get more ideas on how to, what is it, to deliver your materials from many sources, and then try to combine them and then compile them. So do not just put the assignments into Google Forms and then send it to the students. And then if you do that all the times, yes, you will lose your students' interest in your lessons. I can guarantee that. Yeah, I think that's from me.
Yeah.
Purani.
Let me
Oh,
add Pak Himawan just
Yeah.
a bit. Bu Rani from Bangkalan, SMP and to Bangkalan. Yeah, I agree with Pak Himawan that you need to give attention to your students here, because during pandemic, before pandemic, after pandemic, students always needs attention for their from their teachers. So personal touch, if I may say here, personal touch is important. When they are online and they don't feel that they get personal touch from you, they will tend to have lower motivation to join the learning again. Okay, so if they feel that they are appreciated, if they give attention, that they get attention from the teacher, they will feel that they are someone and their teacher appreciate them. They will be happy to join it. And then the next one here, um, teacher, you as the teacher here needs to show that you are also have good spirit and high motivation, because we reflect what we feel as teachers. If the students get the impression that we have very low motivation, and we don't have good spirit in teaching, that we are not quite what is it, we are not in good mood in teaching, for example, they will get the reflection, they will get the impression of what happened to us. So we need to be able to manage our mood, to show that we are motivated in the teaching. And hopefully, when they see our spirit and our motivation, supported by the personal personal touch from us, our students will be more cooperative and will be more motivated in joining our class. And related to the learning, because students nowadays love YouTube very much. They like digital online, digital platform. They are native digital native. They're digital native, not like us. We are digital immigrant, just like what Pak Himawan mentioned. So you can use the sources on the web. You can choose the sources on the web, and you can put it in G form, for example. After you put the link in the G form, so the video in the G form in the quiz modes, for example, although it is not a quiz, it could be a part of the lesson. You can put questions there. You can create a question related to the material you choose or you select from the webs, from YouTube, for example, or from anything else. You can choose concept. You can choose, and then you can uh, talk about them. Try to find topics which is related to your materials, but also related to the students' interest. It's not easy, but I believe that nowadays the sources are there in the webs. There are so many. You can relate to them because you need to relate to their life. If you don't relate your teaching with their life, if they don't find the meaning of your teaching to their life, they don't find the value of their teaching for their life, they will feel that I don't need teachers. I can access the web ourselves. Even my daughter ever mentioned that. Do you need teacher? No, I don't need teacher, mommy. I can access Google myself. I can access any lesson myself. So we teachers here need to Need to help the students here to get the value of the learning, the value of what they do using the websites or using the internet here. So their teaching will be more meaningful, not only do that learning is more meaningful. So they are not only learn joining the class, doing the homework, then forget it. No, they will get the value and they will remember you the whole life. Thank you.
Okay, well, thank you very
Bu
much
Mimi.
for the answers from Pak Him and Bu Wiwit. Yeah. So, ladies and gentlemen, I think now we come to the end of our webinar today. So I remind you once again about the exit ticket that will be served as the attendance list as well, and only the registered participants who are allowed to access the exit ticket link to get the e-certificate. Make sure to fill out the exit ticket and write correct names and email address. You can check the link to the exit ticket, which is available in our Zoom chat room. The link for the exit ticket is valid only for 1 hour. And you can check your email within 5 to 10 minutes after you submit the exit tickets. Well, ladies and gentlemen, we have already discussion and all the questions, but unfortunately, some questions are not answered yet. But don't worry, we are going to have a podcast on our YouTube channel for the rest of the questions. And we have all passed the whole agenda today of the webinar. Let us say Alhamdulillah together. Alhamdulillahirabbil
Alhamdulillah.
alamin.
Thank you.
Perhaps
Thanks a
Dennis.
million for your participation. I hope we will meet again in our next webinar. See you, stay healthy and happy. Wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Waalaikumsalam warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Goodbye, everyone. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, everyone.
Yeah, thank you
Stay
very
happy, stay
much.
healthy.